The past few years have not been great for Naughty Dog. In 2020, they divided the gaming community by deciding to kill off Joel. There are some people who love that decision, some people who absolutely loathed it and vowed to not buy any Naughty Dog games in the future. Then the first season of the television show came out, which did really good, but since season 2 has come out, we've seen viewership declines and ratings tanking, and it just hasn't been a pretty picture. And of course, their upcoming game, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, has already faced some major backlash, and now the lead actress is talking about how Naughty Dog's been preparing her for more hate. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, criticism is not harassment. Criticism is not hatred, but a lot of people in Hollywood and the video game industry just don't understand that. And of course, they're always looking for a way to play the victim, because for some of these people, playing the victim was the only reason they got the job in the first place. And now we have this actress, of course, apparently being prepped by Neil Cuckman and Naughty Dog on how to handle the hate, which again is really just criticism and backlash. This is a Insider Gaming article. It says everyone who is everyone knows what happened when Naughty Dog released The Last of Us Part 2 in 2020. It was dragged through the ringer for several reasons, facing review bombing issues despite being an utter masterpiece of a game. Okay, listen, we know you love Neil Cuckman. We know you love shilling for the modern video game industry. It was not a masterpiece by any stretch of the means. The first game I would consider closer to a masterpiece than the second, that's for sure. And I'm fine with main characters being killed off in stories, but it has to feel intentional, like in Game of Thrones. Ned Stark's death was an important piece of the story. It affected everyone's lives. The whole entire trajectory of the story changed because of that. With Joel's death, all they really did was try to own the chuds. They wanted to prove that they could have two strong women as the leads, and they didn't need any men, and it was supposed to be a statement, and it did not turn out very well for them. It's funny that this person writing this article is saying, oh my god, it's a masterpiece. Clearly, gamers didn't feel that way in 2020, and judging by the tanking viewership and ratings for the second season of the show, where this event happens, average TV viewers also don't feel the same. Regardless, though, it says fast forward to right now, and the television series is dealing with a similar problem. So, back in 2020, people rated the game poorly because they didn't like the content, and in 2025 people are rating the show poorly because they don't enjoy the content. That's not hatred or harassment or bigotry. It clearly doesn't point to this being a masterpiece of a story. It's just that people don't like it. You are the odd one out for thinking it's a masterpiece. Regardless, though, it says in a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, Tati Gabrielle took a deep dive into her role as Jordan Munn, the star of Naughty Dog's next epic, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Unfortunately, part of what she revealed was around the hate she and her character had already received following the grand reveal of the game in December 2024 at the Game Awards. Okay, so there's a very big difference here that I think is important to point out. A character can receive hate or backlash, and that is not a bad thing because it is a character. That does not mean that we hate the actress. I don't know this actress. I don't hate this actress. I think the way that she has acted has been very unprofessional on her social media with the DEI-licious meme and then saying, are you fucking mad, bro? I think that's distasteful. That's not hatred, though. That's just saying that she's acting really terribly. I got a lot of love, but there was also a lot of hate over me being a woman, me being a woman of color, me having my head shaved, all of these things that I didn't actually initially see. I'm out of the social media zeitgeist for that reason, but once I did, Neil was like, ignore it no matter what. Me and you, we're going to make something beautiful. We're going to make something that we are proud of. It's always funny when developers say this because while, yes, creatives need to feel confident in their work, ultimately they're not making their work for themselves. They're making it for an audience, and they expect to make money off of it. So, sure, you need to be proud of it, but you also need to make something that people are going to want to support and think look cool. And I mean, clearly that isn't the case here. She looked like a strong, independent woman through and through. She seemed very angry, very bitchy. She didn't seem like she was going to be a cool character. She didn't seem like she was going to be fun or unique. It just seemed like the modern day strong woman trope all over again. And people are sick and tired of seeing that. And I'm sure that there are people who push the limits when it came to the backlash. I'm not saying that there was no hatred sent her way over her gender or her skin color, because there's always going to be a few bad apples in every single bunch and people who push the limits. The majority of the responses that I saw personally were just, this doesn't look great. What is with the way that she is acting in these trailers? And ultimately, yes, criticizing Tati Gabrielle and the way that she has responded to the backlash. Now, is this article going to mention it? Absolutely not, but I'm not going to fucking let it go. There was an image that was made and posted on social media. I don't know if it started on like X or Instagram. Regardless, though, Tati Gabrielle had shared it over on her Instagram, and it says fragile masculinity, 100% incel tears, and it's her and Siri like laughing and sipping their drink, and it's saying so DEI-licious, and then her caption was, "You mad, bro? This is not the way that you respond to backlash or that you respond to criticism." So she expects respect when she can't show a shred to the people that are the reason why she's got a career. It's just not something that I personally would do. It's not what most people would do. And this isn't going to sell copies of your fucking game, because if you want the modern audience to show up to buy it, well, those people are probably not going to support you, given they don't really exist. Now, of course, they bring up Laura Bailey and her portrayal of Abby in 2020, saying that she faced something very similar. And again, sending death threats to people is not okay. Sending threats of physical harm or doxing people, none of these things are okay. But the mainstream media is going to paint a certain picture for you, that most of the comments on social media were death threats and violence and hatred and bigotry and sexism, when really it's primarily just genuine criticism levied towards a product. And then, of course, there are the few bad apples who push the limits. They don't want to present it that way, though, because then it's not going to seem like they are in the right, that they are winning. They always need to paint a specific picture to paint gamers as the bad guys. You'd think that outlets that need gamers to read their articles would be a little bit more respectful towards gamers, but that's not the case. And it's not shocking that this is what she's doing now. It was what happened with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. The actress who played Reva came out and said that, oh, Lucasfilm prepared her for the racism and the sexism and the backlash and the bigotry. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. If you hire somebody based on their race or their gender, and then you have them highlight their race or their gender in interviews and promotional material, they might be criticized for only being hired because of their race or because of their gender. Seems pretty obvious to me, but I had made this post over on X. It's got nearly 2K likes, a lot of comments. I wanted to read some of them. I don't get why people confuse dislike with hate. I don't hate that character. I dislike its design. Yeah, it's okay to dislike the character's design. It's okay to dislike the initial trailer. My major criticism was the fact that, wow, you are showing us a trailer for a game by presenting us with everything but gameplay. I hate that. I know that they need to get you excited with some cinematic trailers, but if I'm buying a game, I want to see the gameplay. I'm not buying a movie. So sure, show me cinematics when we get closer to release. That's fine. But initially, I want to see the actual gameplay, and they didn't do that. They want the hate so the game gets attention. There's always plenty of games to choose from. I'm not wasting any more time and money on drivel like this, which is true. They believe all press is good press, even when it's negative press, and that certainly isn't the case at this point. There are people also saying it's just an obvious DEI games. I have zero problems with a woman as a main character, like Stellar Blade, Metroid, Tomb Raider. All of these things are great, but they're just not interested in this brand new character that we're seeing in Intergalactic. So I'll be keeping my eye on the way that she responds to the new wave of backlash that she's getting, which is just so funny. Like, oh, hey, I'm getting backlash. Okay, so basically, by complaining about it, you just want people to send more backlash your way. I don't understand it. But I'll be keeping my eye on it to see if she makes any other statements. It seems that she is just a very, I hate to use this word, but toxic individual. She loves the hate, she loves the backlash, and she loves the attention that she gets from any sort of criticism levied towards her, and she loves to play the victim. So I'm sure that this is going to be a move she pulls time and time again during the next few years until this game releases. Who knows when it's even going to launch? But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.